Good morning. You listen to FloorDaily.net, and I'm Kemp Harr. This morning, my guest is Tressa Samdal, the Senior Director of Marketing and Product Management with Panaria Group, Florida Tile. Tressa, how you doing?
I'm doing fantastic, Kemp. How are you?
I'm good. I'm glad to see you came back to Florida Tile. Let's go through that real quick. Just been announced this past week that you are the Senior Director of Marketing and Product Management, and you were here 5 years ago. Even prior to that, though, I think you started with Mullican and Johnson City, and then you were with Mohawk/IVC for a while. Then you came over here to Florida Tile, then left for 5 years, and in that period, you were at E.J. Welch, Cabinet Works, and Happy Floors, right?
That is correct. Started my career at Mullican, was a great experience. Moved into more of a product role at Mohawk, and then I had the pleasure of doing both product and marketing at Florida Tile. Then when I left during the pandemic, I moved to Happy Floors, where I got to be in the sunshine of Florida for a little bit. And then E.J. Welch reached out to me with an opportunity to become Vice President of Marketing. So I did about a year there. And I had the opportunity with Cabinet Works to return to my home state of Michigan and be a little closer to my family. So it was a really wonderful experience. I really learned a lot in terms of innovation, customer feedback loops, and really how to implement great value propositions.
So how did this happen about you coming back?
Well, Leonardo reached out to me quite a few months ago, and we've been talking about strategies on and off for a few months. The timing just felt right. He brought me on board. We really talked through some great things that we want to do for the company, and I just felt completely energized to be back in tile, where we get to work with product that is true artistry.
We're glad to have you back in the business. You know what they say about people in the flooring business, that they're not ever supposed to leave.
I know. I'm back. Full circle.
All right. So you having to move yourself personally from Michigan back down to the Lexington, Kentucky area?
Yes, where the weather is much nicer, not quite as cold. So I'm definitely looking forward to less harsh winter. Not that I don't love Michigan, because it's absolutely beautiful. And of course, that's where my family is.
Well, I'm glad to be able to talk to you right now. Let's talk a little bit about Panaria Group, which is an Italian company with a lot of strong brands, and they own Florida Tile. And I think a couple of years ago at Coverings, seems like they were doing some shifting in brand priority. And it sounds like by this press release news announcement that your focus is going to be both on Panaria Group and on Florida Tile here in the United States, right?
That is correct. So about 2 years ago is when they really wanted to introduce all of the beautiful brands that Panaria Group offers to the American market, really having more of a national footprint hold with those brands. So that's why you saw a lot more focus on those brands. However, we're still really investing in Florida Tile. It's one of our most important brands, and it has a wonderful legacy and a great reputation.
So let me ask you this question. A USP, as you know from being in the branding business, is what sets you apart. So what do you think sets both Florida Tile and Panaria Group apart from their competition?
One of the things that Florida Tile has always really leaned into is their Italian artistry. However, they have done such a great job of combining that with the American ingenuity. So understanding the American customer is so important, because we're in a time with social media and TikTok where we want things faster. We want them now. And Italian branding has always had this idea of making sure it's the right art, but now we're combining those two ideas of the right art, but getting it to the customer faster.
Okay, so you can make it here, and most people know, tile that comes out of Italy sells for 2 and 3 times more than, tiles made in other parts. So you get best of both worlds, right? You get the Italian look, and you're making it right here. Is that right?
Exactly. So we're getting the Italian beauty and the expectation that we have always known from Panaria Group in terms of having the absolute best look, and also just in terms of the quality and detail, but now produced here in the USA.
Now, there's a tile meeting coming up in a couple weeks out in the western U.S. You going to be there?
I sure am. I'm super excited to see everyone.
Okay, good. I'll be there as well. Well, thanks for spending time with us, and congratulations on coming back into the flooring industry. Again, been talking to Tressa Samdal, the Senior Director of Marketing with Florida Tile and Panaria Group, and you've been listening to Kemp Harr and FloorDaily.net.